Well, my next guest is one of 9 state attorneys general taking on what they call an increasingly overreaching federal government. During a news conference in Washington this week, led by Virginia's Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, they unveiled a report detailing more than 20 actions taken by the Obama administration they call illegal.
This president and his administration, in my view, represent the greatest set of lawbreakers that have run the federal government in our lifetimes. The fact is, President Obama and his appointees have ignored federal laws, they've ignored binding rulings of federal courts, and they've ignored the limits on their power mandated by the Constitution.
Well, joining me now is Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli. Good to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Lou.
What is going on? I mean, what is the recourse that you can, if successful, what is the recourse that you hope to achieve here?
Well, there's 2 things going on here. We compiled all of these violations of the law that we're all contending with around the country to make the point that Americans need to understand fully what's at stake in November if they choose to vote to re-elect this president. And one of the things that's at stake is the rule of law itself. Because I wasn't kidding with the statement you ran there before we're talking about the level of law breaking in this administration. These aren't just disputes about, well, you see it one way and we see it another way. That was, for instance, take the FCC. The Federal Communications Commission went in to try to regulate the Internet. A court told them in an order, you don't have the authority to do that. They went back in the same year, said, well, we're going to do it anyway, in the face of a court order that they didn't appeal. These are the president's appointees. So in that instance, it isn't just their opinion versus some other lawyer, in my case an attorney general. It's a court has ruled, and they have ignored the ruling. And so now some private parties are going back to court with them over that. We're going to help those private parties try, from our perspective, to reestablish the rule of law there. We can rattle off examples from the EPA, which I've taken to calling the Employment Prevention Agency because they're so good at that, but that they have violated the law. These are not policy differences. These are violations of the law. And the president has created a corporate culture in his administration that is very comfortable not merely pushing the boundaries, but completely trampling them, be they constitutional or legal.
The obvious controversy over the contraception mandate, the assault on religious freedom initiated by this administration. Right now, the Supreme Court has 3 cases before it on the EPA and its overreach of its authority, its abuse of its authority, on the individual mandate in Obamacare, and the suit that the Obama Justice Department has brought against 5 states, but in this case, before the Supreme Court, it is the state of Arizona. This is remarkable for any administration.
It is truly unprecedented, and people are used to hearing hyperbole in election years. The numbers don't lie. I mean, just in the report we compiled, there were over 20 violations of the law, and just last week, Virginia and Texas were in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals here on behalf of 15 states, 4 represented by Democrat attorneys general when the suit was brought, that the EPA had broken the law in its greenhouse gas finding. 2 weeks ago, Florida won a district court case against the EPA for clean water rules. Florida set its own very high standard for clean water in its rivers and streams, and the EPA came in and said, oh no, you're going to do it our way or no way. And the federal courts have knocked them back. They are breaking the law over and over in states across the country.
As always, good talking with you. We appreciate it, Attorney General.